Hi folks, how you doing? It's James, JT at the movies, and we're back for another little movie vlog. We're actually on a short sort of weekend break away at a spa at the minute, and there's a cinema not too far from where we are, so we're going to pop out for a bit of food, and we're actually going to watch the 30th anniversary screening of Silence of the Lambs, and so we thought we can't not go and see a classic thriller like that and not do you a little vlog about it. So we'll see you after the film. So, folks, we're back from the cinema now. It's getting on for midnight, and we're in our hotel room, which is why we've got the nice blank background behind us. And Silence of the Lambs. What to say about it that's probably not already been said? It's one of my favourite thrillers, sort of psychological thrillers, isn't it? Really. But yeah, it's always been one of my favourite thrillers from right when I was sort of, a sort of a late teenager and sort of really starting to explore thrillers as a film genre and horror and, that sort of psychological sort of element, and really just sort of developing my tastes as a film fan. I remember my granddad giving me a box set with Silence of the Lambs and a few other films in it, like one of those MGM ones. I had like 3 or 4 films in them. I think Usual Suspects was in there as well, and Fargo might have been the other one. But yeah, I remember that being in there and just being absolutely blown away by it. The story, the performances from the cast, obviously Jody Foster and Anthony Hopkins being the standouts as well. But Ted Levine, Scott Glenn, and Anthony Heald also doing absolutely fantastic in the sort of the supporting roles as well. For anybody that might not know, Silence of the Lambs is the story of trainee FBI agent Clarice Starling, played by Jody Foster, being brought in by the head of the department, Jack Crawford, to interrogate incarcerated serial killer Dr. Hannibal Lecter, as the FBI want his assistance on a serial killer that is currently active and is murdering and skinning young girls, a killer by the name of Buffalo Bill, Bill being played by Ted Levine. And Hannibal and Clarice throughout the film sort of form an uneasy alliance. He's clearly fascinated with her, and possibly she with him as well. And it's about them two sort of working together uneasily to try and sort of put the pieces together for Buffalo Bill, and maybe Hannibal Lecter, even from behind bars, is more involved than people know. Hannibal's more of actually a supporting character in this. He's not really like the main villain or the main antagonist or anything like that. I think he's only got about 20 minutes of screen time in the 2-hour film, and really the story of the film is the pursuit of Buffalo Bill, but he's almost a supporting character in his own film, isn't he?
Yeah, definitely.
The performances in this, like I say, are absolutely top notch, aren't they? I think Anthony Hopkins and Jodie Foster both won Oscars in 1991 or 92, whichever awards season it fell into. The film's 91. But yeah, I think that they won the sort of the leading actress and supporting actor, and I believe the scene that it was that sort of sold the Academy on it was the one where he's in the cage at Town Hall in the end, and they're sort of doing the "Well, are the lambs still screaming, Clarice?" And it's got that sort of scene in it. There's no music or anything like that, and it's just zoomed in shots of his face and then her face, and it's superbly acted by the pair of them. Anthony Hopkins is so creepy, isn't he?
Those eyes. It's them eyes.
And he does do such a good job of acting with his eyes, though, doesn't he? Because, like, the bit where he's going to meet Senator Martin, and he's got the infamous mask on, and he's in the straitjacket on the stretcher, and he's doing all, love what you've done with your shoes, and, what is it, love your suit, or whatever it is he says, but his eyes are just, like, bulging out of his head, and, like, doing all the heavy lifting.
Soul, yeah.
Yeah, like I said, doing all the heavy lifting for him as well. Jodie Foster is absolutely fantastic in this. I think this was sort of one of her sort of big 90s roles. I think she'd done obviously quite a few bits before it as well. She was a child actress and whatever, but I think this one sort of like catapulted her a bit to sort of being able to do more, and obviously she's gone on to become a really successful filmmaker and actor even still, hasn't she? But she's superb in this, as like I say, the sort of the trainee Clarice, and you can sort of sense the inexperience in the character, but the determination to do well and to do it right, and she gives a really believable performance. Much the same obviously with Anthony Hopkins. You really just believe that guy is a serial killer and an absolute lunatic. And again, I'd probably say with Ted Levine as well playing Buffalo Bill, it's just it's really really creepy stuff. And to say, this is the 30th anniversary of the film, and I have seen it, probably at least a dozen times, and I'm probably not exaggerating there. I know you've seen it a few times before, haven't you?
Yeah.
In fact, one of our early dates when we were first dating, when I came to stay at your house, we said we wanted a scary movie night, didn't we? So we got some pizzas in and watched Silence of the Lambs. That's one of our sort of early memories, isn't it? So I think that was probably the last time I actually watched this film. So actually, I can't. Oh, no, I must have watched it since.
I can't remember. It's been a while.
Must have watched it since. If not, that's 6 years ago, and that's scary. But yeah, I've seen this film, like I say, probably at least a dozen times since that first watching from that box set that my grandparents gave me, and absolutely love it. But the point I wanted to make was that all that time on, and however many viewings later, and I know the plot backwards, and I know who's going to say what when they're going to say it, and I kept turning to you in the cinema, didn't I, and sort of mouthing the quotes, and sort of like the horrible line that Multiple Migs says, or the do you know what you look like with your good bag and your cheap shoes, and just doing all that sort of thing, and you were sort of sniggering at me, weren't you? So it was a good job that there was practically nobody else in the cinema and no one sat near us. But yeah, I absolutely love it. But yeah, it just kept us on the edge of the seats, and the scene in the basement at Buffalo Bill's house at the end. Knew what was coming. No, she's gonna hear the gun click and turn around and shoot him. Still don't matter. I'm still edging my seat, and that's a sign of a really, really good film being made, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
And what did you think for seeing it in the big screen?
Definitely different. Made it a lot more creepy. Anthony Hopkins' face zoomed in on the big screen isn't exactly something that's going to leave me for a while.
No, it's like the sort of. It's like that, but blown up on a however many 500-inch screen or whatever. I'm
going to be seeing that face in my nightmares for a while.
Yeah, he does it so well.
Oh, he's brilliant. I don't think anybody could have done that role better than him.
No, absolutely brilliant. One thing I noticed this time that I hadn't actually noticed before was that Roger Corman, the famed American filmmaker, who obviously famed for making sort of really cheap and sort of, I think, somewhat subpar films back in like the 60s and the 70s, and probably even before, has a cameo in it as one of the FBI directors. And it turned out, I found this out afterwards, because I was sort of like, why would Roger Corman be in this film in a supporting role of all things? And Jonathan Demme, the director of this, had actually worked and studied under Corman back in the day, and was sort of like one of his proteges, his apprentices, which I thought was a really cool little tidbit about this film. And obviously explained why he'd put his old friend and mentor in the film. It's obviously based on the Thomas Harris novel. It's the second novel in the series, the first being Red Dragon. Red Dragon had been actually adapted before Silence of the Lambs came out into the film Manhunter, which I think was 1986, but I could be wrong. But that film isn't in this continuity, and Hannibal Lecter in that film is played by British actor Brian Cox. It's a really good film as well, but not to the same standard of this. They later went on to remake the story Red Dragon under the proper title, with Lecter being played by Anthony Hopkins in that story and in this continuity, and it's probably a close second in the three sort of Anthony Hopkins Hannibal Lecter series is Red Dragon. But yeah, Silence of the Lambs, it's just absolutely brilliant. I don't really have a bad word to say about it. Thoroughly enjoyed it. I'm not sure if it's out on 4K yet, but I know it's out on Blu-ray because I've got it on Blu-ray. And yeah, I just absolutely enjoyed it. If you get the chance to go and see it in the cinemas, it's View Cinemas that are showing it for the 30th anniversary. I'd recommend going to see it on the big screen. The picture was fantastic, and it really added to the experience, made it a much more sort of immersive experience. And like I say, the thrills and the chills still hold up 30 years later, which is just a testament to how good a film it is.
One thing I noticed is that famous Mandela Effect in the film, where everybody thinks he says, "Hello, Clarice." He doesn't say that at all during the film.
No, there's like variations of it, like "Goodbye, Clarice" and "Good evening, Clarice." But the first thing he says to her, everyone sort of, when she walks down that corridor at the start of the film and turns to see him in the glass box, everyone sort of like assumes sort of like the "Hello, Clarice," but it's not. It's "Good morning."
And that's simple. Yeah, just simply "Good morning."
And yeah, we were sort of listening out for it because we're like, he must be somewhere in the film. But it's not. No, it's
at the start of every single interaction. The first one is "Good morning," and then when she sees him in the cage, it's "Good evening, Clarice." And then on the phone at the end, it's "Have the lamb stopped screaming yet, Clarice?"
Yeah. It's an interesting one, that, and So it always fascinates me. There's like the Mandela Effect in
Yeah.
films. You know, it's one of those things, and they'll probably do a video on it at some point because there's loads of them to talk about, and it makes for really interesting discussion. But that's another video. Is that Silence of the Lambs, absolutely superb psychological thriller. Of course, check it out if by some stretch you're watching this and you haven't seen it. If you get the opportunity to see it in the cinema, we thoroughly recommend it. It's an easy 8 out of 10 for me. Is this film absolutely adore it. So thank you very much, folks, for watching this sort of bit of a rambling in our hotel room before we go to bed. But like I said, we couldn't not go to the cinema and see this film and then do a quick video for you afterwards. So thanks very much for watching. Leave us a comment down below with your thoughts on the film. What did you think of it? And what do you think of the Hannibal Lecter franchise in general? Because I know it's gone on to spawn, obviously, sequels, prequels, TV shows, all manner of things. Let me know your thoughts. Don't forget to drop the video a thumbs up. And if you haven't already subscribed to the channel, please think about doing so. Of course, it helps the channel to grow, and I'd love to keep you around for a little while longer if I can. Above all else, folks, take care of yourselves and stay safe, and we'll see you again really soon.